From Nutrien Ag Solutions, I'm Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, September 19th, 2022. Might be a little bit more of a shorter update here today. It's another week of, typical seasonal transition here. We're most certainly underway with the season transition here across Western Canada. Another week with a mixed bag of conditions here, a variety of moving parts that we'll talk about over the next 7 days. Temperatures, though, Monday morning, again, a mixed bag. A little warmer across southern Alberta, portions of southern Saskatchewan this morning, lower teens there, single digits as you move a little closer to Highway 16. And we do have another shot of cooler air making its way in here across the entire prairie over the next 24 to 36 hours, but then we'll begin another gradual warm-up as we head into the end of the week. As we look at the satellite picture across North America, a lot going on. We've got, Hurricane Fiona down here across Puerto Rico. I'm going to point out here across the Corn Belt, Illinois, got some big thunderstorms last night. I am dragging a little bit today. We had very loud, severe storms overhead here in Champaign, Illinois from around midnight last night to around 2 o'clock in the morning. One of the most incredible lightning displays that I've seen in the last, 5 or 10 years here locally. Got this big low across the Pacific coast here, just off the coast of California and Oregon. And then as we make our way up into Western Canada, we've got a series of disturbances here. We've got kind of a disorganized disturbance that's being lifted northeast by a low that we've got right here in northern Alberta. You can kind of see the counterclockwise flow there of this disturbance. That is the one that brings in the cooler shot of air over the next 24 to 36 hours. And it's also triggering some showers across the region. You can see as we go ahead and animate this, again, scattered showers here with this kind of lead disturbance across central and southern Saskatchewan. As you look up toward the top left corner here, you can see the swirl of that disturbance in northern Alberta. You see here how we've got the showers kind of lifting from southwest to northeast here in the Edmonton area, but then across portions of northern Alberta, wrapping around on the backside, that is where you'll find your colder air too, starting to impose there across northern portions of Alberta. Now, as we look at the NAM model, this will take us through Thursday. We'll look at the precipitation forecast here. A couple of players here. Again, showers continue to lift kind of from southwest to northeast as we head through the next 36 hours or so. This first disturbance, to the two kind of working in tandem here. They take about 36 hours to get out of here. Showers begin to taper off in the east as we get into Wednesday morning. So this is your midday Monday morning, midday Monday evening, maybe a few thunderstorms here in the Highway 16 corridor from central Saskatchewan into south central Manitoba later on this evening. This will take us into the overnight. Tuesday morning, Alberta, you're drying out. Saskatchewan and Manitoba, really limited to the Highway 16 corridor here. For the heavier precipitation activity, can't rule out maybe a stray shower or storm a little further south during the day Tuesday. This would be your Tuesday overnight, and then all the way into your Wednesday. High pressure moves in on the backside. Should have a very clear, sunny Wednesday for everyone in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Clouds tapering off during the day on Wednesday a little further east across Manitoba. Here's your Thursday morning then. This is when the next disturbance, that low that we saw off the coast of California and Oregon, off the Pacific coast of the U.S., lifts into the Prairie on Thursday. This one could bring more scattered showers and storms to the area, again, as we get into Thursday and Friday. Now, as we just take it through midday Thursday, this is the national blended model, precipitation. Again, on the drier side across much of southern Alberta into southern Saskatchewan, the heavier precipitation a little further north near the Highway 16 corridor. That's where we can get some pockets of, closer to an inch, maybe an inch and a half of precipitation, and then maybe some isolated showers here across portions of southern Manitoba. Now, as we add in the next few days, this takes a look at the next week altogether. This from the European model. Similar picture here, This will include our late week rain chances, which I'll show you here in a moment, but on the drier side across southern Alberta into southern Saskatchewan, and where we see the higher precipitation chances is really going to be along and north of Highway 16, where we'll see some of those pockets of heavier precipitation. Now, here's the complicated pattern. We're looking at 500 millibar vorticity, where you see the shaded colors. That's where we have spin in the atmosphere. And when we transport that spin into areas that don't have spin, that's when we create cloud cover, precipitation, storm systems, all of the stimulating, interesting weather that we're concerned about. Now, as we put this into motion, again, here are the multiple pieces. Here's an exiting wave right there. Here's kind of your disorganized wave lifting out of the southwest, being picked up by this bigger wave coming out of the northwest. Here's your big Canada low. This one makes its way in California coastal low there. That's going to make its way in on Thursday. But as we just kind of animate this, taking it through the next few days, I apologize about the Bluetooth mouse thing there. That's going to be popping up intermittently. But let's take it through the next couple of days. Here's your Monday night into Tuesday morning. This is getting into Tuesday, Wednesday. This first wave exits, and this is where we get kind of pinched in between. You see that little bit of ridging there. That's our sunny, dry Wednesday into Thursday. Dry conditions move from west to east because Thursday, it's going to start to turn unsettled again across southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan. Pretty light, pretty hit or miss with the precipitation. I'm not expecting a soaker, but it'll be, again, on the unsettled side, maybe a chance for some hit or miss showers and storms. You've got kind of just fast flow then coming in on the backside here that blasts in as we get into the weekend. I think that that's going to keep the chance for at least isolated showers in the picture here, but then we start to ridge out as we get into early next week. This is as we get into Monday, September 26th. You're starting to see the flow do something like this again. That, of course, allows dry conditions and a little bit of summer-like warmth to maybe build in. But your wild cards here. Look at these little swirls caught up beneath the ridge here. Those would be capable of, isolated showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms. So even as we get into next week, leaning towards drier conditions, but I just can't rule out at least, spotty shower or storm activity all the way into early next week. So if I had to classify the next 10 days, more dry days than wet, but there will be that chance, and again, trending warmer as we get later in the week as well, thanks to that ridge of high pressure. So here's your next 10 days, a little less complicated than looking at the vorticity plot. This will help us kind of smooth things out, but as we get the week started, again, dealing with a little unsettled conditions, chance for scattered showers, pockets of heavier rain closer to Highway 16. Here's that little bit of ridging then midweek, and then here comes the low coming across the northwest U.S., making its way in as we get into the end of the week, Thursday night into Friday. And then again, right here, this is just fast jet stream flow with little disturbances caught up within it. Can't rule out showers and storms all the way into the weekend across Western Canada. Now we'll tie it all together, looking at the precipitation forecast, again, from the European model. Exact results may vary, but here's your unsettled next 36 hours. Again, pockets of heavier rain a little bit further north. This takes us through Tuesday morning. I'll stop here. I really apologize about the Bluetooth mouse. I would have to stop the whole video and start over if I'm going to turn that off, so I appreciate you just kind of grinning and bearing it with me as I'm doing right now. Sometimes it is just like that on a Monday morning. Here's your Wednesday morning, though. Precipitation starting to pull away. Remember, we talked about a mostly dry Wednesday and Thursday. Before late Thursday, rain activity starts to move back in from the southwest. Isolated, hit or miss, not a soaking event, maybe some pockets of locally heavy rainfall. And then as we get into the weekend, here's what I'm talking about. Fast jet stream flow with little subtle disturbances caught up within it. Can't rule out some showers. This takes us into Saturday night. Sunday, we're really trending drier, especially as we get into the weekend. Early next week, can't rule out a couple subtle disturbances there beneath the ridge, but this kind of spells it out. What I'm showing you here is the probability of picking up at least 1/10 of an inch on the left. So this would be 0.1 inch on the right. You got the probability of picking up 1/2 an inch between now and Saturday night, September 24th into the 25th. On the left, pretty high probability. I know a little bit drier here across southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, but a pretty high probability of picking up that, trace to 1/10 of an inch, which tells you, we've got precipitation chances here on more than one day across generally the whole area. But then as you look on the right, this tells us that, soaking rain's going to be pretty hard to come by. Where do we see the best chance of picking up 1/2 an inch or more over the next 6 days? Well, again, kind of along that Highway 16 corridor, and then you get maybe slightly higher chances across central and southern portions of Manitoba into southeastern Saskatchewan, with generally, drier here conditions across southern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan. Going to be a tall ask to pick up that 1/2 an inch. That's where I think we'll just be talking about spotty light showers. Your temperature is variable again. That shot of cool air comes in early this week, but we start to warm back up right here as we get into the weekend. What does that look like at a few of our select cities? Calgary, the cool air already moving in, a high of 11 today, but you'll be back in the low 20s by the weekend into early next week. Same story in Edmonton, 12 today, 20 by the time we get to Thursday. And then as we look at Saskatoon, a little further east, you'll get those warm temperatures today as well. Regina, high of 23 today, down to 14 tomorrow, slowly climbing back up as we head into next week. Winnipeg, a little bit cooler, temperatures generally hanging out in the mid to upper teens in the afternoons as we head through the next few days. Those overnight lows in the upper single digits. Have a great Monday and a wonderful week.